Well, we are on, I guess, everything. I mean, I should be streaming to YouTube. I should be streaming on Twitch and Twitter. I have never done this before. I'm excited. I think I have finally figured out how to stream to all of these platforms without these crashing, which is something I've tried in the past and to no avail. I just did not have the luck. I did not have lady luck on my side. So hopefully I do today. We're going to be doing some Underdog fantasy drafts. I have 73 active drafts going. About a dozen or so of the Best Ball Mania 2s, and the other 61, I believe, are the $5 Underdog, the Puppy Bowl, the Puppy Bowl 2. And I had like 16 or so entries prior to that in the other one. So we're going to see how many I can do live today. Let me see if I can figure out how to add the screen share. Bang, there it is. Oh, that one feels nice. My friends, we are making massive strides today. So my question for chat is going to be this. So I don't know if it is going to gather all questions from all streams and throw it into one chat box for me, or if I'm supposed to be bouncing around from stream to stream and saying hello and answering questions. So what I'll probably be doing today is I'm going to be bopping around. I want to see how this works on each and every platform. Right now, I can view it on Twitch. I see it on YouTube, and I also see it right there on Twitter. This is incredibly interesting to me. I am thrilled at doing this. Honestly, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I reached out to a few people who I know do these streams on Twitter. I'm like, hey, what do y'all use? How do you do this? And a couple fine young gentlemen helped me out there to really, I don't know, not be so old and stuck in my own ways, and they showed me the way. So, all right, yep, we're good. I just checked all three streams. We're live. We're ready to rock and roll on each. What I'm going to do for you real quick, though, is I'm going to kind of highlight. What's up, DeFrog? Hey, Stout. Good to see you guys. Oh, it does. It gathers all comments, YouTube and Twitter. Oh, I like this a lot. All right, so what I'm going to be using today, I'm using the teamriseorfall.com draft kit, and this bad boy, I have all the projections and things that I need. It's totally free. So if today you're like, yo, that was pretty nice, I want to try it out, then why wouldn't you? It's totally free. It has the player projections for Underdog, DraftKings, Drafters. I give you a free month of sports betting to one of my websites. You can use the stuff right here on teamriseorfall.com. Everything you want and need is right there on the website. Here it is. So you'll see the homepage. This is all the draft kit stuff that we have up and ready to rock and roll. There's like 20 articles already. We've got another 30 or so videos and articles coming out. I'm going to be using my projections. These are my projections model. What I did is I grabbed Kyle Y NFL at Kyle Y NFL. Kyle Yates from Fantasy Pros. He's got a projection model. And I bought that bad boy. I wanted to try it out. And I did projections for the 2021 season. They're up there on the site, totally free. Again, you just got to sign up for the draft kit itself. And what I'm doing over the last 73 drafts, which I do, again, I have 73 live drafts going, is I'm basically just using my projections, and I'm taking a little bit of, tournament theory. I'm against 155,000 entries. I'm not trying to do the same thing everybody else is doing. You got to be a little bit different in these. I'm using my vast knowledge, and honestly, I've had solid success in NFL DFS for the last 2 years. Made, $40,000 last year, NFL DFS. So I'm trying to apply what I learned over the last few years into, for taking down big tournaments and applying it to a tournament structure like this, where a lot of people in the industry are currently making all of their strategies and picks based on 1 year's data of sample size. I'm not a big fan of that. In fact, I want to zig while everyone else is zagging. So you'll see quite a few of my drafts here today where actually I'm grabbing a lot of running backs early and avoiding picking still the dead zone running backs. I'm not trying to grab those running backs between, the 4th through 9th round or so. But I will have a fair amount of running back drafts where you'll see my first, my second, and my third pick being all over early running backs, and then I just pepper wide receivers throughout because I think it's the deepest position. So I'm actually doing a little bit different than what some of these other people are saying they should be doing based on the optimal strategy. The optimal strategy is not always the best way to take down a tournament. I am playing these tournaments to win myself $1 million, $100,000 over here on Underdog. You can use my best ball projections, which I have projected these out for the tournament. These projections are specifically made for the tournament. They are not these cookie cutter, they're not an aggregate projection. This is my projections for the tournament based on what I know the public's perception is on player A, B, and C. And I want to try to gain any type of leverage I can over there. So you'll see some spots today where you're like, wow, Mitch has Alvin Kamara. What's up? I see you over there. Mitch has Alvin Kamara 7th on his projection for Underdog Fantasy. Well, okay. Jonathan Taylor's 4th. Well, Jonathan Taylor used to be a top 6 pick here on Underdog, and now he's dropping down to 15th. I think ADP of 15 or 16. Aaron Jones, I think, 2 top 5 finishes over the last 2 years in half-point PPR leagues, and he is being drafted, I think, the 12th pick now. He was all the way down there at like 21st for a long time. Devontae Adams was like 17th or 18th. I've been gobbling these guys up for months, knowing that at least hoping that Aaron Rodgers returns and this offense, continues its normal ways. So I have done most of my projections to kind of take advantage of what the industry is telling you to do. So let me take a peek here. YouTube, I see you over there. Twitch, we are still live and we have not failed. Oh my goodness, this has changed everything for me. So today's going to be a test run. Honestly, today's a test run. I've always wanted to see how this works. I'm very intrigued. So here we go. Let's go. We're going straight to Underdog, and we're going to start making our picks. You can see me here at 7.09, and I am going to be looking towards the wide receiver position at this point, and I'm just trying to fill out the rest of my wide receiver targets. So a guy I love this year is Jarvis Landry. Now, these rankings and things here, these are all the Underdog fantasy rankings. If you go over to my projections, if I go over to wide receiver and I slide down for Jarvis Landry, I actually have him as 23rd. I love Jarvis Landry this year. He is often overlooked in this format. I think that if there's any issue this year with Odell Beckham returning to full strength, then I think you're going to see Jarvis Landry reap the rewards. And I think that we have an opportunity where this could be a guy who gets a similar season to something like this in 2019. I will be very happy with 175 or 195 points out of my 4th wide receiver and the 81st pick overall. So I'm going with Jarvis Landry there. So I'm going back here to the drafts page, over to the active. And again, I'm just going to go down the list. So we're going to tackle as many of these drafts as you can. Had an early stack here with Tyreek Hill in the 1st round, went with Patrick Mahomes. In the 3rd, I grabbed Najee Harris as my 2nd round pick. And from there, I am honestly just trying to gather some of these, high upside running backs if the RB1, RB1A goes down on those teams. And then I have some phenomenal upside and very strong value. You can see I went wide receiver heavy most of this draft after I grabbed the early Patrick Mahomes and Najee Harris. So I just kind of peppered the wide receiver position. Jalen Waddle, someone I absolutely love this season. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, 2 guys who do not stay healthy. They never have, never will. It's just their body structure, their genetic makeup. Who knows? I don't know. But, already we see Devontae Parker dealing with a hip injury. We see Will Fuller having issues with his hamstrings as usual. It's just too fast for his own legs. So do not need a running back right now. I can grab some of these guys later. You can see me at the 11.8. It's going to come back to me in about 8 picks. Do not have a tight end yet. That's fine. I like waiting down here. Jared Cook, Gronkowski, Evan Ingram. I can grab 2 in a row here, probably in the 13th, 14th round. So I'm looking right now at Terrace Marshall Jr., who ran 1 billion snaps in the slot last year. You don't need crazy data. He ran so many snaps in the slot last year, and I think he's going to be running them again this year. Should have an opportunity to get some snaps in the slot for a team that should run a decent amount of 3 wide receiver sets. I have 3 rookie wide receivers here. You can see my setting up for a Carolina stack. So I've got Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall. So what I like to do when I've set myself up for a stack like this, my friends, and again, this is going to be my QB2, honestly. So I'm going to slide down. I'm going to make sure that I have Sam Darnold in my queue so that I remember later I want to grab Darnold. And it's not going to cost me much. I'm going to be able to get him, around 16, 17. I can grab Darnold, complete my stack. I just need him to show up a couple times over the course of the year if Patrick Mahomes doesn't go bonkers. And I have myself a 3-player stack between Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall, and Sam Darnold. And I'm going to keep going. Here we go. And if you guys have any questions, you want to fire off any comments, by all means, you go ahead, drop them in Twitch, drop them on YouTube, drop them there on Twitter, which I've never done before. So Hopefully I see your questions when they pop up. I'm not, honestly, I'm not even sure. Let's see. Does this work? Oh, sick. I can highlight your questions. What have I been doing with myself? This is the best. This is the best version I've ever seen. So I can highlight people's comments and then I can talk about them. So there's the draft kit. You can see it there. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me go ahead and make sure that my Discord knows that this bad boy is going. We have 1,700 people in our Discord. It is totally free. You can grab my Discord right off the homepage of teamriseorfall.com. I just dropped that in Discord. I wanted to see if they knew how to do that there. I'm going to highlight some people's questions today now that I know how to do it. I love it. So Joey says, how many times have you been told you sound exactly like Ben Askren? I hear a lot of comments about my voice, whom I sound like, and who I look like. It's kind of funny. I've seen a few of the questions. I've actually been asked before if I am a children's book narrator. I'm not even joking. Somebody has asked me if I have an Audible profile. So I do not. I did look into it, though. I did look on Fiverr one time. I'm like, how do I get this ball rolling if I want to start reading books to people? And it looks like you could kind of do it on your own. But listen, man, I'm all in for fantasy. Joey, great question. What is up, Moog Doob 420? I'm able to bring up the comments. I love that I can show people's comments on the screen. All right, we're looking at the 3.10. I grabbed Saquon at pick 15. Value fell to me. I had Kelvin Ridley in the first round. If you're wondering why Kelvin Ridley, go ahead and look at my projections for the year. Kelvin Ridley, I have leading the NFL. If I sort by total targets, 179. I had him as the number one option at the wide receiver position. So I am going to go with my third pick. And when I am able to anchor my offense with a running back I really like, I usually don't come back and take another running back for a little bit unless there's some sick value just staring me in the face. Like I had J.K. Dobbins yesterday at pick 50 and another one at pick 48. Yeah, I'm going to grab Dobbins. I'm going to grab another back, early round running back if I have value just staring me in the face. Now, I have a ton of exposure here, so this is going to be a hedge pick. I have a ton of exposure this year to Mike Evans and Antonio Brown together. I have a ton of Chris Godwin and Antonio Brown together. Again, I have 73 active drafts going. I would say I have Antonio Brown, at least will be in probably, I'll try to get about half of my drafts having Antonio Brown. So I'm going to hedge my investments a little bit. I'm going to go with Robert Woods here with the 3.10, and this one's going to come back to me in 5 picks. Let's keep going. Again, 73 active drafts. 73 active drafts we're going with. What up, Philly Special? Good to see you, dude. I appreciate you stepping in here today. I knew as soon as I dropped that link into Discord, I would be able to have some fun with my members. I love this setup. I don't know if I'll ever stream any other way for the rest of my life. I am going to be able to highlight comments, questions from people. I can bring you up on the screen. So if you ask a question, you're going to get your name up there. And there it is. The repeat question, right? The repeat comment right after it. This is great, man, says the Philly Special. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty excited about this too. I finally learned something. You can teach an old dog some new tricks every once in a while. What up, Porter? Says, I'm here for the DFS. He wants me to get off the underdog talk. We're here for a little bit of underdog, and we're definitely going to do some preseason NFL DFS. I was telling my family here, we got 73 active drafts going on underdog. Figured I'd make some live picks today, kind of talk through some of this. Alvin Kamara was my 4th pick here. Ended up going A.J. Brown, Keenan Allen with the 2nd and 3rd. I'm at the 45th pick. Again, if there was somebody like J.K. Dobbins staring me in the face right here at pick 45, I'm choosing him. I don't care if I already have an anchor running back here. Let your studs be studs. All right. That's something I heard from, I believe, Jared Smola and Adam Krautwurst over there at draftsharks.com. In our industry draft we had Tuesday, and Adam and Jared talked about it. Listen, you take one of those stud running backs early, let them be a stud, and then jam as many other players as you can at other positions in there. I don't mind that strategy, but I will take value when it is there. Pat Kingpin says, here watching you on the 4K TV on YouTube instead of the computer on Twitch today. Dude, you're my boy, Blue. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the support. And holy smokes, if you got me on 4K, you're seeing like nose hairs and stuff. Did not even think about that. There's a good opportunity here for me next week to groom myself a little bit better for the 4K viewers. Porter says, I like this format a lot. Yeah, me too, dude, because you know what? I can pick up the comments from Twitch, from YouTube, and from Twitter all at the same time. So whomever asks it on whatever format that they ask it on, I am able to grab their comment and toss it up on the big screen, baby. I love this. This is a good thing for me. All right, so we're going with Deontay Johnson here. I'm going to talk about why. He is surrounded by value here. Chase Claypool is somebody everybody wants you to take. Listen, if you don't believe in Big Ben's arm getting the ball down the field, stop drafting Chase Claypool, who had 9 touchdowns and 106 targets. Listen, if Ben can't move the ball down the field, if you do not believe in Ben's arm strength, Deontay Johnson is going to rack up another 144 targets like he did last year. Had another few targets, 3 targets? He has 5 targets through the first 2 weeks. Hall of Fame game, preseason week 1, does not have a single drop. That's always a good sign. I like Deontay Johnson. I think that he is going to get peppered this year because I am one of those people that believes that Big Ben is not going to push the ball down the field to Chase Claypool as much as people want him to. I think that is a pipe dream at this point, to be honest. All right, there we go. Going with another pick. And these are all middle rounds. You can say, again, I've been doing this for a while. 73 live drafts going on Underdog Fantasy. By the way, if you use promo code DONUTS, you can see it on the screen right now. You get $25 instant bonus, and I will give you a free draft kit. And that is over there on teamriseorfall.com. You guys can grab the free draft kit, which includes Underdog Fantasy projections, player projections, all sorts of statistics. I mean, honestly, you guys can use this for the props when those are up on whatever you want to do, honestly. So we have back-to-back 8-12 and 9-1. This is always fun. And you can see I did the anchor theory, right? I've got myself my RB1, the RB1, the king of RBs, right? Christian McCaffrey up there, the lone warrior on the top of the hill. And then I went as many wide receivers as I could in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with all of my next picks. And at this point, my goal now is to fill in the rest of my roster. I'm going to have 4 of these guys probably step up each and every week. My goal of drafting 6 wide receivers early like this is to allow the 4th person always, the flex player always, to be a wide receiver. Wide receivers inherently have a higher upside from week to week, and I want to, grab that upside in a tournament where I'm against 100,000 plus lineups. So I have 6 wide receivers in here that allows me to, focus now on some of these other spots. So unless there's screaming value like tight end, no, I'm not drafting Goddard here. I feel like Goddard, Higbee, Thomas, these guys all have similar floor and ceiling that Mike Gesicki, Jonnu Smith, Evan Ingram, Rob Gronkowski, Jared Cook, these guys have. So I'm going to fade that tight end position for now. Is there any wide receivers staring at me, screaming value? Like a guy like Michael Thomas is actually interesting to me at this point because, listen, even if he comes back last 5 or 6 weeks of the season, I already have a very strong wide receiver core. These 6 players are going to have a role of some sort all year. I can already take an injury or 2 and still have some very good ones there. It allows me to wait for Michael Thomas later. I'm not relying on him to be my wide receiver 4. He's being drafted as my wide receiver 7. So I might grab him there. I'm going to take a quick peek at the quarterback and running back position, see if there's anybody I can grab here. Again, CMC as my workhorse number 1 allows me to grab guys like, and I'll have the turnaround pick at the 10th and 11th. I'll probably be able to grab Gus Edwards, Kenyon Drake back-to-back, or Devin Singletary, and Alexander Madison, something like that. I don't mind at all. Let's take a peek at quarterback. Anybody staring at me, screaming value? And we have Herbert, Rodgers, Brady. A lot of these guys look good. We've got Keenan Allen here, Justin Herbert, 342 points last year. We get the extra game this year. I misclicked real quick, and I will get to your comment here in a second. Who do you like for pick'em? I like that question because you can actually use these projections to answer all of. Jaden says, who do you like for pick'em? You can actually use these projections to make your pick'em picks for Underdog. Are we doing a ROF Underdog draft, like a private one? I'm going to wait until a little bit closer to season, and I want to do a dozen or so of these private drafts. I'm just waiting until everybody's ready. Honestly, I'm waiting until people are ready and show that they're ready. And then these Saturday afternoons, we're going to do them live. I could probably stream them across YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter again. What's up, Wes? Dropping the eyeballs. He's excited. I got his comment over there on YouTube. Appreciate it. Johnny Chaos says, yeah, man, I'm pumped. Sounds good. Well, thank you, man. I'm pumped too. This is exciting for me. I am over the moon today, being able to stream on each and every one of these platforms. And I don't mind spreading out the viewership. Whatever. You guys watch it on whatever you want to watch it on. I have the ability to grab the comments from each platform and just bring them in here. So let's take a peek. Justin Herbert, I have projected for 361 underdog fantasy points this year. I think in an increased value based on the 17th game. I think he'll throw a few more times. I mean, you could take his passing rate from last year and then just replicate it for the 2017 season, and that is exactly 630 or so passing attempts. I have him for 631, and that will be an increase of passing yards, increase of passing touchdowns, high completion rate. You can see his touchdown rate is going to be very high, 5.71 yards per attempt at 7.6. I have massive high hopes for Justin Herbert. My issue here is that I honestly feel like I can get the same type of upside here with someone like Tom Brady. My concern, I guess, at this point is, can I get these guys in 23 picks? I'm going to go Justin Herbert here. And then I'm going to grab Ronald Jones Jr., who I think is massively underdrafted right now. I don't believe Giovanni Bernard has a ton left in the tank. He looked okay last year. I believe he's 29 years old. Leonard Fournette, we know what he is at this point. Ronald Jones Jr. had basically seized the 60% market share role there to finish out the last 6 weeks of the season. And then he got hurt in the playoffs. We saw Leonard Fournette become more important. I think that the pendulum swings back to Ronald Jones Jr., and I think that while he currently is viewed as a co-starter, I think Ronald Jones has RB 12 through 15 type upside this year, especially if Fournette goes down with injury. They're not going to give Giovanni Bernard much work in between the 20s, and he's definitely not getting much work in the red zone. So if we see an injury to Fournette at all, or Ronald Jones Jr. looking like a hoss to begin the season, I think you see a guy here who last year, by the way, 220 touches, and I'm getting him at pick 97, 220 touches for the 97th pick in the draft. Yeah, I'll take that. And he is my RB2. I only need 2 of these guys to show up and score each and every week. Again, CMC hopefully stays healthy, and I have him for 12 weeks. I would only need 1 of my other 3 running backs I'll have drafted to show up for the RB2 spot weekly. So I grabbed Herbert and Ronald Jones Jr. All right, moving on. We got 73 live picks to make, so I better keep going. Let's see here. Singletary looked good last night. Do you think there's more separation between him and Moss now for best ball? Absolutely. I posted a tweet today. I did it this morning, my friend, and I am a huge fan of Devin Singletary. I have been for 2 years. I think last year, the weird offseason for COVID, preseason not being there, he came in maybe out of shape. Maybe his body was not prepared for year 2 of running back life. Year 1, he looked fast. He had explosive second burst at the second level. Last year, he looked awful at the second level. He rarely got past the linebackers, and he just struggled. And what did you see last night? You saw some burst, man. He looked quick. I think 8 touches for 52 yards and a touchdown last night. He looked good. I have high hopes for him. Zach Moss currently dealing with a core injury. I'm not sure what we're going to get out of Zach Moss this year. And if we don't see Zach Moss getting much preseason time, and Devin Singletary looks as good as he did last night over the next 2 preseason games, why in the world is Zach Moss being drafted at 106, Devin Singletary all the way down there at 144, I want to say, 144.5, and Zach Moss at 108? I mean, this gap needs to close. Devin Singletary needs to be up here, in my opinion. I mean, we got a guy who's at 150 and 194 touches and 180 touches over the last 2 years. That is not bad. Touchdowns are always going to be an issue with Josh Allen there, but still, you can grab a guy with upside, and I don't mind him, especially if Zach Moss goes down. Antonio Williams, I think, is not a solid backup. I think you'll see some type of Matt Breida, who is made of glass, and Antonio Williams as like a rotational RB2 if Zach Moss has an extended stay on the injury list here. So, all right, anyways, let me focus up. CMC, Joe Mixon, and I grabbed Justin Jefferson with that 3rd pick. I do not have a stack here at all yet because I don't have a quarterback. Let's take a peek if we have anybody. Nope, not grabbing these tight ends. Wide receiver might actually go quarterback here at this point. All right, so I'm going to grab Jalen Hurts here. Love this pick. Pick 109. I've got Devonta Smith here. I'll probably try to grab another target. Matter of fact, kind of makes me want to take Dallas Goedert right here at 99 and put these two together, grab myself a little stack. So I'm going to plug in Goedert and just shift it. All right, you got to stay fluid when you're doing these. You got to have guidelines for your drafting. No rules. Don't bring rules into best ball. So I like to have guidelines figured out as I go and loosely follow these guidelines. If you are on YouTube, I want to say right now, hit that sub button, hit that like button, and make sure that you are here because we have daily live streams, daily videos being dropped by Detroit Beastie, multiple other staff, myself. I'll be doing these streams where you can catch me on each and every platform going forward daily. And hopefully we're able to help you win some money in both DFS and best ball this year. All right, first pick, I had Tyreek Hill. I went with Antonio Gibson, Robert Woods. Was not able to get Patrick Mahomes at this pick. I was hoping he would drop to me, just missed. That would have been the most perfect beginning. So I'm going to bail on that stack of Hill and Mahomes, unfortunately, just by design. If I had J.K. Dobbins here at pick 42, I'd probably grab him. Instead, I'm going to be grabbing a wide receiver. I'm probably going to try to do some type of Trey Lance, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel stack at this point and just adjust my plan. So I'm grabbing Brandon Ayuk. I think he's going to be a beast this year. And I'll try to grab Deebo Samuel with the next round. Should be down here at pick 66. I would imagine I still have him. And I'm going to need to make sure I get Trey Lance later. I believe he's going as QB 12 at this point. So he is ascending quickly. High hopes for a lot of people in today where we get both Justin Fields and Trey Lance in preseason. All right, you see first pick, I had First pick, I had Travis Kelce. Was not able to get Mahomes here in the 30 range. Went with Najee Harris, Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, as I spoke about already. Tyler Boyd, another player who I am taking over both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Both people I think are going to excel at intermediate to downfield passing routes, but I don't know about this O-line. If you think the offensive line stinks, Tyler Boyd's going to be the guy that gets the most targets this year in that passing offense. Believe it or not, it's Tyler Boyd. Truly, I think Tyler Boyd leads this team in pass targets if the offensive line struggles. Joe Burrow's going to be trying to get rid of the ball quickly, okay? And that's going to be to Tyler Boyd. Not going to be to Jamar Chase down the field. Not going to be to T. Higgins down the field. It's going to be to Tyler Boyd and his 10.1 yards per reception last year. A lot of underneath, a lot of short to intermediate routes run. Antonio Brown, one of my favorite targets. I've been picking him since he was an ADP of like 95 a month ago. I will take him all the way up into the 40s. This guy led the team in targets for his 8 games as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and he was pretty solid in the playoffs as well. And this was after he joined them midseason after not playing for a year and a half of NFL. Listen, he's 31. He's not 38 years old. He's 31. Wide receivers in the NFL, they can be very productive all the way up to 33, 34 years old. I don't think Antonio Brown's lost a step at all. I think he's going to explode this year. I think we could see him potentially leading this team in targets. And currently right now, we're able to get him later. You can see that I have set up a Mike Evans and Antonio Brown stack with Tom Brady, which I might have to take here. I don't know if I can wait until actually, no, I'll be able to wait until the 8th round. Look at it with Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. So I'll come back to that one, okay? Let's see here. Who do I want to target? And again, I got Najee Harris at running back. Oh, wait. Try to grab some of these guys a little bit later. Robinson. Feel like I'm about to reach very early for this one. But again, I've talked about why I like him so much. And I do. I love him right now. Jarvis Landry. Again, I want the floor because I also think Jarvis Landry has a ceiling of about 200 points. And we know Odell Beckham coming back from injury, I think actually will help him out. If Beckham can get down the field at all, open up the offense a little bit. I think Jarvis Landry has a very productive season like we saw him 2 years ago where he had 195 points. So I'm going to reach there. And I think that you could also paint a picture where Landry, if Beckham is hurting at all, Landry is leaned on a little bit more in the passing game. So I think no matter how you view that situation, you have an opportunity. All right, so pick 43. Wow, Patrick Mahomes still there. And I have Tyreek Hill. This is beautiful. So I was able to grab Hill in the first, Harris in the second, DeAndre Swift in the third. I'm going to complete the stack here with Patrick Mahomes. And now I have my KC stack. Because I have quarterback early like this, I will not touch quarterback towards the end of the draft. I've already invested a very high draft capital into my quarterback position. If he does not go for 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns this year, I'm probably SOL anyways. So I am going to allow my stud to be a stud, and I'm going to be drafting the rest of the positions, loading up at wide receiver going forward. Chad, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you very much over there, YouTube, for the... Looks like you guys are racking up some of them likes over there, too. Thank you for that. I appreciate your support over there. Y'all are too kind. You are too kind. Thank you very much, man. All right. Give me uno minuto. Going to retweet these so people know the stream is live. We are still live. And hopefully we can increase that viewership too as we keep going. All right, cool. I love Twitter. People crack me up. What's up, Daniel Shives? Nice job last night, dude. Says, what it up? See, look at this. How cool is that, dude? I can bring up people's comments. I can bring them right up. How sick is that? I'm going through all of my picks right now. I have 73 active drafts going, my friend. So I am just, as they pop up, I'm drafting. I'm kind of talking through them all. I've got my projections up. Not really using them per se right now while I draft. Luckily, I created them, so I kind of know what I'm doing as I head into this. If you want to use them, totally use them. If you want $25 off on Underdog Fantasy, by all means, let it rip, baby. How funny is this? I can highlight the Nightbot. This is sick. How did I not know that I can do this? I can bring up all comments from Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter stream all onto the same stream at the same time. I feel like such a bobo for not having this down before here. I love this stack I have going here. I'm going to try to get Rondale Moore later. I'm going to make sure I do not forget about that one. Look good last night. I don't know if you guys watched any of last night's game, but where did he go? There he is. Pick 120. He is way down there. I'm going to be able to have a Murray, Moore, and DeAndre Hopkins stack. I like that one a lot. All right, so first pick, you see I had Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins in the second, Tyler Lockett in the third, Julio Jones in the fourth. So I've got my four stud wide receivers. I feel great about that. And I don't want these running backs. This is going to be a wait till late running back type situation. So I'm going to keep hammering the wide receiver position. I'm going to skip this tier again. I'm going to go for my man. I told you, Antonio Brown, whom I think is going to, again, lead the team in targets, receptions, and yards over his targets, receptions over his 8 games with the team. And I think we have another opportunity for him to do the same. So I'm just loading up the wide receiver position. I'll come back around, grab those mid to late round running backs and just stack them up. All right, this one's a Best Ball Mania $25 entry. Derrick Henry in the first, A.J. Brown in the second. Now, I am going to remind myself real quick, I'm going full-out Tannehill stack. I love Tennessee. I actually had this conversation on live stream the other day, and it allowed me, Wes, and it allowed me to kind of expand upon my view for Tennessee. And when I projected the Tennessee Titans with Julio coming to town, the Titans projections were pretty crazy. The only person that really, really suffered at all was just, oops, I clicked on PGA tools. The only person that suffered at all was just Julio Jones, and that is only because I'm slightly worried about the injuries that he's been dealing with over the last few years. So I was not totally high in Julio. I have him, I believe. Let's take a peek, actually, as I click back to wide receivers. I have Julio, I want to say in the 30s. Well, he's already up there at 21. What is he on Underdog? Julio Jones at 18. So I'm just a little bit below where the industry has him right now. All right, so J.K. Dobbins, pick 33. Now I'm on pick 27. Let's grab another wide receiver. Actually, every once in a while, I check. If I see Darren Waller there in the beginning of the third round, I grab him every single time. Let's grab Keenan Allen. Big hopes there again, and took Justin Herbert stack earlier today. So I'm going to stick there. I like that. Again, we are doing the best ball mania. We're talking how many 155,000 tournaments? Like my friends, if you are, 155,000 entries. If you are entering the Best Ball Mania draft, you got to get a little funky. You're trying to take first place to win $1 million. You know what? I love the idea of stacking up offenses. Back in May and June, I was stacking up the Packers. I was grabbing Aaron Rodgers in the 12th, 13th round, Devontae Adams at pick 20, Aaron Jones at pick 18. I was able to get those guys, and I was reaching the first, second round, second, third round. I think Devontae Adams was like pick 27 for a while in the very beginning. Everyone was super worried. I was able to, lock up a full offense. So I'm a big proponent of stacking offenses and just hoping that's one of the teams that is a top 5 scoring offense. Aaron Jones last year was the top 5. And think of it this way. Aaron Rodgers, top 5 at the quarterback position scoring last year. Aaron Jones, he was, I believe, 5th for a half-point PPR, which is Underdog Fantasy. Devontae Adams led all wide receivers in half-point and PPR scoring last year, points per game in only 14 games. Now, I was able to get that trio as like an offensive onslaught you'd see on DFS. And that is kind of my goal here. So you're going to see some of these teams where you're going to see a few of them too, where I have Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins with both Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, or Thielen and Irv Smith. I'm a big proponent on stacking multiple pieces, and I'm not worried about having running backs with the pass catchers on the same team if I can add the quarterback. If the team scores 40 points in that week, I'm going to feel pretty solid about having 4 pieces of that offense. 3 of them likely are going to go bonkers. Grab as many pieces as you can from the best offenses, and over the long haul, I think a lot of your lineups are going to do a lot better. It sounds quite basic, but you'd be shocked at how many people waste a lot of picks on players from crummy offenses just because they're potentially in like a good spot. Screw that. Give me the better offenses. Give me the players on the better offenses. They'll be more efficient, and I think they'll score more often. How did you manage to get permission to draft all day on a Saturday? Where's the kids? Yeah. Mommy's home. Mommy's working with the kiddos. They're putting together some furniture and stuff to get ready for school. So I ran downstairs. I'm like, I'm going to figure out how to stream to 3 different platforms. And that's what I got going on today. YouTube. I got people on Twitch and people on Twitter. It's very, very fun for me. I'm like over the moon, man. I need to mow the yard before I leave for the island next weekend, but it's so stinking hot. I'll watch Missed Draft instead. Good choice, dude. Good choice. Appreciate you, Wes. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. So we grabbed Travis Kelce early. Was not able to fit in Patrick Mahomes there in the 3rd. Grabbed Robert Woods, Adam Thielen. I'm going to grab another wide receiver at this point. Camp reports for Jerry Jeudy are absolutely glowing. Kenny Golladay not looking healthy. Deebo Samuel, somebody I'm intrigued in here at 66. I think I'm going to go Robbie Anderson. I have a ton of Jerry Jeudy, so I'm going to hedge my investments a little bit. Active. I have 3 active drafts left. You can see I have a bunch coming up. If a few of these get in there while I'm streaming, then I will draft those as well. If you are new to, I love it. It is unfair when you start with CMC first. When with CMC, CD Lamb, and Keenan Allen, it's cheating. It's unbelievable the teams you can put together here. If you have not played Underdog and you want to check it out, you can use my promo code Donuts. You'll get $25 instantly deposited into your account, and you will be able to do basically five free Puppy Bowl entries. I'm sure they'll have the third one out soon. Best Ball Mania 2. You can do a single entry. That's $1 million up top. I have back-to-back picks here, so I'm going to be making those picks. Let me see. I'm going to fool around with this real quick. What's this look like? Hey, that's pretty nice. All right, what else can I do here? Minimal. Okay. These are interesting. Hold on, give me a second. I wanted to try something while I had people here, okay? You ready? Let's see what happens. I love this. This is the coolest stream platform I've ever used. I'm not even kidding. This has got to be one of the dopest stream platforms I've ever used. All right, so here we go. We got CMC, number 1 overall. That's an easy pick. CeeDee Lamb, Keenan Allen. Why do I have those guys, and where do I have them? Let's take a peek real quick. I actually have CeeDee Lamb as my 9th projected scoring wide receiver for a half point per reception. Keenan Allen, I have it 19th, but I know that there's upside for more there if he can stay healthy in that 17th game with Justin Herbert on the rise. All right, got to make 2 picks here, back to back. We're going to load up on 2 wide receivers here. So with the amount of Deante Johnson I have, and while I talked about him a lot earlier for getting peppered underneath, if you don't believe in Big Ben's arm, well, I'm going to go with Chase Claypool, hedge my investment a little bit. Get a little variation in my exposures there. Oh, I got 2 picks. That's right. And I'm going to grab, I think, Jamar Chase, whom I do not have much of at all. And because, number 1, I think I have 3 solid wide receivers as is. I don't need Jamar Chase to know the playbook, be on the field, making an impact early in the season. He is somebody I'm hoping really, if he comes on week 5, 6, and then just explodes the second half of the year, much like we saw Justin Jefferson do, I think that Jamar Chase can be one of those league-winning picks this year. So I like him at pick 49. I'm going to grab him there. 2 more picks here, bunch of 60. So we got 71 other picks upcoming. We got 73 live drafts going. That was sick. You like that? All right, Moog. Appreciate it, man. That's pretty cool. I like being able to do stuff like this. Let's see. What's the other one look like? Give me a second. Now I'm just having fun. Ooh, yeah, I like that too. This is the best streaming thing I've ever used. My life has changed forever. All right, we got Delvin, nice and early 2 pick. Came back around, grabbed Najee at the end of the second. Allen Robinson, who I absolutely love this season. Allen Robinson, my 8th projected underdog wide receiver. That's half point PPR. This is a guy who's had 151 and 154 targets over the last 2 years with terrible quarterback play. Andy Dalton, an improvement. Justin Fields, a bigger improvement. And if he's going to get 150-plus targets this year from 2 quarterbacks, both of whom I think will be better than Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, and the bevy of quarterbacks he had in there over the last 2 years of his career, please. You're giving me 150-plus targets for one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, completely underrated. Guy finished 12th in scoring last year. Now he's getting an improvement. He's getting a 17th game. He stays relatively healthy for the last 3 years. I think he's only missed 2 games. Yeah, I love Allen Robinson as the 8th wide receiver. So I picked him early, pick 26. All right, so let's see here. 2 running backs. Do we want to put together a stack yet? Nope, don't need to. What pick is this? 74? I'll probably get... this might be one of those drafts where I go like Justin Fields, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, maybe Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham, and Jarvis Landry, Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski. So I think that's kind of how this one's shaking out. Yeah, you know what? Now I'm looking at it. It's exactly how I feel. So I'm going to reach down here. I'm going to grab Jarvis Landry again. when it comes back around, I'm actually going to try to grab Darnell Mooney and set myself up for a Justin Fields, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney stack, Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, and Odell Beckham stack. And I'll probably grab Tom Brady if I can get him in the 9th. Or if I have to grab Brady in the 8th and then Darnell Mooney in the 9th, I'll do that. So we'll see how it shakes out. You never know. The best laid plans, huh? So this is my last active draft right here. So I've got 72 other best ball drafts upcoming. All right, I got 72 entries, 61 of them in the puppy, and I think 12 of them are in the Best Ball Mania 2 draft. So this one's it. And then I guess we'll just kind of chat together if we have any more comments. And if not, we'll bounce. I think what I'm going to do, my friends, is I want to prepare something specific for the preseason NFL slate. And I'll come back and I'll do another live stream for preseason DFS. And I'll do that one probably later today, closer to stream. I'm thinking like a 6 p.m. Eastern pre-lock NFL DFS stream. So I'm realizing now I'm already 45 minutes in and I'm having a good time doing this. But really, I needed to just test it out. Let's do that tonight. So 6 p.m. Eastern, I will come back and I will do a purely NFL DFS preseason stream, a pure NFL DFS stream rather than Underdog fantasy. All right. You can see I set myself up for a Trey Lance stream here. Trey Lance stack with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Kind of feeling some TJ Hawkinson at this point. Feel solid about my wide receivers. Plenty of wide receiver value late. I have TJ Hawkinson, I think, has like a Darren Waller type ceiling this year, 220 or so points. I do. I think he's going to have 120, 130 targets. If he increases his reception rate a little bit, we're talking 85 receptions. If he can catch 18 out of his next 29 targets, which is 67%, which is actually his catch rate from last year. So if he can get, if he gets 29 more targets this year, by the way, he gets an extra game, and there's not many people around him. There's no Kenny G this year. There's no Marvin Jones. If you get TJ Hawkinson getting 130 targets this year, and he has a 67% catch rate, that's 85 receptions. That's 85 receptions, which you would then see this stuff increase. 85 receptions, I believe, is exactly what Darren Waller might have had last year. No? 94 or something like that. I don't know. Let's take a peek. What do I have TJ Hawkinson projected for? 115 targets, 74 receptions, 794 yards, and 7 receiving touchdowns. Underdog Fantasy, 158 fantasy points. I actually have him ahead of Kyle Pitts. So if I'm going purely by my projections here, which you can have for free, I probably should wait for Gesicki, Irv Smith, Noah Fant. And man, I really want to take him here. Let's go Cortland Sutton. Stay loose. We'll stay loose. Any other drafts come up live? Nope. All right, they're all upcoming. All right, 70-something picks waiting for me. So today, remember, come back 6 p.m. Eastern. I will likely go live only on Twitter. I'm going to do like a special Twitter cast, okay? I don't think it's going to be Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. So it'll probably just be one thing, and we'll go from there. So thank you very much for today. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed being on each of these. Again, come back at 6 p.m. Eastern. I will see you then. Thank you for your support. I saw people watching, about 20 congruent viewers across all 3 different platforms coming and going. So thank you very much. That was a fun little trial, an unannounced stream in the middle of a Saturday. And you're never going to make tons of waves there, but that was pretty exciting for me. So had a good time. I'm going to do this again, 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. And I'll be breaking down the 8-game NFL DFS preseason slate. And I might even drop some projections for anybody who tunes in live just for you. So if you tune in live, I think I'm going to give you guys projections, but you have to be here. I'm only going to give them away in the chat that you're watching on. So if you want those free NFL preseason DFS projections, see you at 6 p.m. Have a good day, my friends.